You've got the attack of Dalton Young, Aiden O'Neill, and Luke Graham. Defensively, as we watch the X now with Chenoy and Wierman, there's a matchup here with Hunter Smith in the back. You've got Fabian back there. So Richmond's got a lot of guys back, and Maryland gets started by winning the first face-off at the X.
Violation there on the first face-off, so it doesn't give us an indication yet of how those draws are going to play out. But there's another place where Maryland has a positive change from a year ago. Eric Molliver, who was out.
A distance shooter from the outside from what we remember last year. And he's 6'5", 220-pound junior. Buries one, gives Richmond a 1-0 advantage.
And he's likely to play a bigger role this year for this team. You know, I think with Madonna and Sheridan kind of locked into that first group, and you might have been looking at who's going to be that third guy. And if it can be Alpar, that's going to make them more dangerous because, like you're suggesting, he definitely has range shooting the ball.
Maryland now to the offensive for Richmond today, so we're even at 1 apiece. And one thing I was going to allude to, the early Richmond score in this game, but the Spiders went 43-plus minutes in the game last year without a tally. It was scoring, and Maryland's defense was very solid last season against this Richmond squad. A battle at the X, and it's one there as Pilling comes out with it. And that's going to be a key spot where Saunders was so helpful for the Spiders last year on those ground balls off the faceoff.
You know, the Richmond program, I think has...
Anything that Maryland's doing right now to create all that open space, or is it just the way things are working out?
No, I think you just, you know, Richmond, we're trying to get organized on defense, and, you know, you tend to drop off your guy and hedge toward the ball a little bit, and again.
Go back to the X. We are at 2-1. Spiders have taken the lead.
And teams that are good in transition are good because their defensive midfield can finish plays. And Jeff Nugent is one of those guys.
Chenoy wins, gets it over to Dalton Young. He's got some pressure from the Maryland defense as Young tries to elude some heavy stick work there from Jack McDonald, a 6'5", 205-pound senior. Maryland will rotate guys in defensively today.
We need to have a feel for what the people around you are doing. Those are the situations that where the inexperience on defense will show itself.
Violation. Lance Madonna picked up that Richmond tally at 46 points last year and 29 goals out of Hingham, Mass. Picks up his first collegiate goal. You saw Gavin Creo out there as well a moment ago, and he's a guy that's on the inside Lacrosse impact freshman lists. As there's a violation to give Maryland possession. So a big start for the Spiders today.
And that's the second violation for Richmond, which means that if it happens again in this half, that Maryland will cost Maryland in the defensive end. You know, again, I might be saying to the Maryland defenders, you know, let these guys show us that they can beat us first off of a dodge before we give them something, and they're going to need to tighten that up a little bit.
That was Canfield, a little late to rotate over to get there, and he got there, but you can't give Young much room at all to shoot. So.
No.
Maryland has possession here off the Wierman win. Wierman coming in with 637.
Dangerous option for Maryland going forward, and you know, clearly that's something that they'll probably go back to and see how Richmond adjusts to it.
Daniel Kelly with the tally there. He had 28 goals last year.
I think he started all 16 games for them on the attack, but now they have, with Molliver back, they've got 4 attackmen, and again, we'll keep an eye on how they utilize those guys.
Got a timeout.
A better job taking advantage of their opportunities. You know, the face-off piece, I think Richmond would be more than happy if it played out the rest of the game and we were able to see, you know, 8 or 9 in the first quarter, which was good. Connor Knight seems to be holding up, and so far, got a lot of lacrosse to go.
Wierman comes away with this, and this shot finds the back of the net on the Wierman win off the draw, and then he gets the assist. And Maryland now cuts this down to a 5-4 game right off the bat here to start quarter number 2. And that is Erks, I believe, with the tally on the pass there from Wierman.
Yeah, Hunter Smith, or was that Fabian, wound up biting on a kind of an under move, what we call a little hitch and go, and Erks was able to get to top side with his hands free. That's a deadly opportunity for them.
now again, Wierman picks up another win.
And Wierman, even in just those two opening faceoffs here in the second quarter, shows his versatility by going forward for Connor Knight. And now we'll look and see if the faceoff thing. This is where when a team comes out and has a little momentum, then you want to. That's going to be a violation, I believe, unless they give the ball. Oh, giving the ball to Richmond.
And the officials are going to
talk
talk
conflict.
this.
I think one referee might have called it for Maryland. The other guy thought it was for Richmond, I think.
They're going to talk this over and see what they come up with.
Yeah, I think in the schoolyard, this would be what we call a do-over, Robert.
Unfortunately, we're not in the schoolyard. It's Richmond's possession.
Good for Richmond that the violation went the other way because they would have been the penalty. And now we need to see whether or not Chenoy holds a little bit and gives Wierman a little bit of an advantage, or whether or not Richmond can win a big face-off here.
Terrapin's flying in from the wings. Chorus got in there quickly. Maryland to the offensive end, but they turned it over.
He got the ball out of his stick before he stepped on the crease line.
Don't think he stepped in there. It was a nice move from Urksa to pick up the tally. That's his second goal of the game.
They slid to him. They were there defensively, but then somebody needs to put a body on that on Urksa there.
So now you got 4 unanswered Terrapin goals. And remember, we talked about this earlier that Richmond went about 43 minutes last year against this Maryland team without scoring. They really need to crack the scoring column here now as they come up with the loose ball. Down 7-5, and 3:49 and counting left in
there. And give Young credit for having great eyes.
So Dalton Young with another assist. He had 41 of those last year.
Goal they needed right there.
And Richmond stops that run. Makes it a 1-goal game here. Spiders come away with a win off the X. Over to Young. And now Young's going to wait after Cap carried the players with 1 goal. Urksa has 2 for Maryland. Everybody else has 1. Things are really pretty even up at this point.
It's just been a good lacrosse game. We've been treated to a game between 2 good teams, a close game and entertaining. A lot of offense. So I think it promises to be a good second half. I think the Maryland kind of taking control of that game for about 10 minutes in the second. Things like offsides are avoidable, and then Richmond was just a little slow to rotate, but they can make that ball sing on extra man, and they take advantage.
So again, Urksa, he had the long stick matchup with Alvidi, but he got around that.
You want to go on a run, you got to win a face-off. Here we go.
And that's pulled out by Wierman. And we talked about this, you and I did off air a little bit earlier. Wierman at 6'1", 211, big guy for an end of the season.
Yeah, like I say, sometimes it it pays to be more lucky than good. Those kind of plays are plays that you actually can practice, and you're looking for some guys are a little bit more alert to be able to take advantage of situations like that.
So good job.
It feels like Wierman is starting to get make a little bit of a run here facing off.
It's 12-8.
And I'll say that again, the next face-off, so that Richmond can win it right out like that. So get back topside in order to make a stop on that one. And a little bit of a mental error there defensively for Richmond.
That gives Maryland a 2-goal advantage now.
Maryland goal scored by number 4, Eric Oliver.
Spiders come out with this. Nice scoop up from Joe Gooley, trying to find his way out of that circle, and now Richmond will work back to front. Knight has 8 tells wearing that number 1 jersey, which has a lot of significance for Maryland, for the Maryland program. As the quarter expires, 10-9. Maryland's got a 1-goal lead, 2 of 4 on the extra man. Richmond's had 4 opportunities on the extra man and hasn't converted on that today.
Yeah, it's the statistics would tell you that it's an even game, and that's exactly what we have. And now we're going to find out who the face-off guy is. Now you're going to find out who the players are. Ask me, how did you win so many close games? And I would say, well, still Stanwyck, or one of those kind of guys. Those players that just gravitate in those situations, and that's what Richmond is defining for itself right now. And this is when Aiden Young, he went all the way through to the backside, and that fellow was even more wide open.
And while Oliver had a short stick matchup, it was against Pilling, which you know, is one of your better short stick defenders.
Yeah, I would say in general that I'd prefer to see Richmond be a little slower to
here. If you're Jared Chenoy and you go 50-50, he's done better than that today. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he goes, if he wins 2 of 3 in the next 7.5 minutes, then he's had a great day. You know,
it's going to be big for right now as he battles here.
Oh, ball pops right to the Maryland guy.
And Maryland comes up with it. And you know, the one thing we talked about Chenoy earlier with the schedule that Richmond has played, and of course facing Wierman today, with all the face-offs that he.
That's we're in store for that today. You know, so.
Well, yeah, if that's what it is, we'll see.
Every face-off critical, obviously. Coaches each have 1 timeout.
Maryland got this one, and it's McDonald who swoops in to scoop it up.
Yeah, Chenoy had a shot at it also.
He had a chance there, so
yeah.
Maryland in the face-offs is the biggest gap of the numbers. The shooting numbers, the shots, and the on-goal numbers are just about even. 13 saves for McNaney today, and Knight has 10.
Wierman pulls that one out clean for Maryland in the opening possession here in the second overtime.
Let's see what they are able to do here now.